mean, you've had a Hollywood movie life.
Because on May 8th, I woke up and I coughed a half a bottle of blood up, Jeff. My wife's there, Jeff. Could you imagine? You got kids begging me to live, bro. And I got 10 minutes to sit with her and talk about my life without her, brother. And I died, brother. They come in. The next day, tomorrow, you get in a hut.
And you wasn't supposed to be this quick.
No, 6 to 8 weeks, one day. I get the heart transplant. What do? You go into that. God is everything, bro.
Yeah.
So I come out, and it's frequency, everything. Because if you look, I come out, as soon as I get out of the heart transplant, I'm alive. I'm on a ventilator. I woke up in the ventilator. It wasn't supposed to happen. So now if the heart transplant...
You're not supposed to wake up?
No. And I'm awake after a heart transplant on the ventilator for like hours. The medication, but I wrote immediately on a board, bro. If you look at my Instagram, it says, I don't care about pain. I'm grateful to be alive.
Welcome to the show, Frank.
Thanks for having me on, my brother.
I am so excited. We have crossed paths for too long to never have met, and today is the wonderful day, and you are a beacon of energy. And I got to do a lot of research on you for when I first got introduced to you a while ago from mutual friends, but more importantly, in preparation. And dude, your story is something I am it's one of those things where the information that is out there didn't give me enough. It's like I need more. I'm waiting, the show's on Thursdays, and you got the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And so I was really excited to get in because you have had, you've had a Hollywood movie life. The things that they make TV shows and movies about,
Yeah.
And I am very curious how you come from that, deal with what you dealt with, and have the positivity that you have today, the impact that you're making, the faith that either you've had the whole time or really found, and your pillars, your success formula. There's a lot of people in my audience that probably feel like disconnected from a lot of the guests because they're like, hey, I don't have that linear upbringing from, everything was available to me and I took advantage. They felt like, hey, maybe I kind of had the tougher start. And
yeah.
So thank you for coming, man.
Yeah, I had the tougher start. Thank you for having me on, brother.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yes.
This is an amazing studio.
The intro, obviously. Oh, thank you.
Yes, amazing.
Well, hey,
the best one.
How you do anything's how you do everything.
That's right.
Right? So I guess my first question that I want to ask, and obviously, there's so much about you that I need to learn and we want to learn, but what was that catalyst moment for you outside of the big one, the surgery, right? When you died and came back? We're going to get into that, but usually it's not that moment for a lot of people where everything kind of changed mentally, where you that's the moment where it takes effect, but it's usually for a lot of people at a different moment. Where was the moment in your life where it was the complete shift from Frank birth to this moment and then this Frank?
July 31st of 2011.
Okay, so what was that day?
Yeah.
Okay.
July 31st of 2011. My whole life changed, brother. My whole life changed. I grew up different. I didn't grow up. I grew up from a hard upbringing. I grew up in the Lower East Side of Manhattan and literally down the street from the first ever Def Jam Studios, around the corner from the punk rock club CBGB, and then 2 blocks from John Gotti Social Club. So there was a lot going on in my neighborhood, and you get influenced by your environment, belief systems that are passed down to you that were really never yours to begin with.
Sure.
And family of origin. So with that being said, things were rough and different, and I grew up rough and different.
But when you say that, how would you define that? Paint me a picture of rough and different.
So my family's had a business since 1903. It's been in my business since 1903. It's called Parisi Bakery. It was down in Little Italy, down on Mott Street. It's still there, where they used to bake. Yeah, something you would appreciate. Yeah. Where they used to bake. My grandfather used to bake it in the basement on Mott Street, and then he bought a building in 1982, and it was $200,000 in that neighborhood.
And moved it off of Mott Street, or still?
Yeah, onto Elizabeth Street. Now I grew up in that building. I grew up above the bakery, where we baked all the bread, and the store's still there. My father passed away, so we don't bake the bread no more. Well, they don't bake the bread no more. But anyway, growing up in an Italian family and an Italian culture, within that culture, there was somewhat of a subculture within my home, not in my family, but in my home, because my father was involved with the street and organized crime.
Sure.
So with that being said, you grow up a little bit differently.
And go as deep as you want to.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say involved in organized crime, for a lot of people, that's The Sopranos, right?
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
The understanding
Italian
of it.
mob,
But
yeah.
sometimes you're involved, and sometimes you're involved, and
Yeah.
sometimes you're forced to be involved.
Yeah.
How?
No, he was involved. He was involved.
Okay.
He was never a main guy, but he was associate.
And
you
as
know?
a result of that, that influence was around you.
All the time. I mean, you sit down at my kitchen table at a Christmas and it'd be like wise guys and cops. And that was the environment that I grew up in. It was blue collar. So
was the influence though that you were going to follow that footsteps coming from your dad, or was it he trying to keep you away from it?
No, my father had his demons as well. He was a great man and exposed me to a lot of things that most kids my age were not exposed to, good and bad.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
I absolutely do.
Good and bad. Like I've gone to Super Bowls as a kid, but then like my father's in jail.
Right.
There's Christmases with like, you got the nice chain, and then there's Christmases mom's doing 15-minute massages because we have no money.
Sure.
So like as the street goes, so does your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I do.
There's no real plan.
But was the parental influence get an education, get out of the neighborhood, or
No.
was it don't worry about all that, get to work. This is your life.
Work. And people, what happens with us, Jeff, is that we get things passed down.
Mm-hmm.
Generational traumas get passed down.
That's right.
And so the family system operated differently than the way I operate today. So it was like, there wasn't a lot of looking at where I'm at today, being a healed person and done all the work that I've done on myself, I realized that today I did not get what I needed.
But not on purpose.
Not on purpose.
A result of circumstance?
A result of my father, the neighborhood, his mother dying at 14 years old, him not getting what he needed
his mother died when he was 14?
14 years old, and him not getting what he needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And was your grandfather involved?
My grandfather was involved, but it was all work.
Right.
Just work.
But I mean, look, the statistics show, right? If your parents smoke, you're more likely to smoke.
Mm-hmm.
If your parents are healthy, you're more likely to be healthy. If one of your parents is abusive, you're more likely to be abusive.
Yeah.
Because what you see, your environment, to your point, has such an effect. And it's really hard to know what you don't know.
0 to 8, it impacts us tremendously. So just to give you and I don't want to stay in this, but just so you're aware, as a little kid, I have an 8-year-old son. I grew up in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and like the block was so dangerous at that time. Crack hit that block. Like on the corner of my block was crack, and like my uncles would leave baseball bats in the front of the building and in the front of the bakery. And like whenever there was something going on, if people didn't go down the street, like I'm 4 or 5 years old, brother, I'm watching guys get their heads split open with baseball bats. Like that's what I grew up in.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I come from where like you're not supposed to really win in life.
And the definition of win is different.
Right. Like, well, I was like looking at everybody in my neighborhood, go to jail, like preparing myself for that life.
Yeah. And I would assume at that time, especially because it was pre-internet, we're about the same age, you don't have the ability to see
nothing.
Like today, you can go on the internet and say, oh, there's other communities where this is a different way of life.
Oh, without a doubt.
But back then,
you only know what you know.
You know what you know.
Yeah.
I try to explain that to my kids. I have a 19-year-old and a 13-year-old, and I used to, she'll say, hey, Dad, how do I? And I'm like, you should never have to ask that question because you have this thing called Google and YouTube. When I was a kid, my source of truth was what my parents told me, what my friends' parents told me, and if one of them had one of those Encyclopedia Britannica books that I would look up and say, oh, but they could have told me Hawaii was in Russia.
I know.
And I had no way to prove or not.
I know.
So you really were confined to your environment at such a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
And so today you're not, but you may not know what to ask, what to prompt. And so your childhood kind of set you up for that. But from teenager Frank till July 31st, 2011.
Yeah.
There was a different you.
Oh, there was a.
And what was your ambition and goal? Like, you probably weren't saying fireman, astronaut, doctor. Like, what did you? What do you want to be when you grow up, Frank?
Street guy.
Right? And did you achieve it?
I did, but not successfully. It was a path of misery.
Sure.
You know, it was a path that led me down into addiction, and it was a black hole of where I was just in a shame cycle after a while, and I continued to hurt.
Aware, like you were aware with the shame.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Addiction takes you down a road that just brings you such darkness. I suffered for years, like 7-8 years of opiate addiction, like pills. And with that, you know, you do things, the things that you grow up seeing that you say you'll never be, you become.
Yeah.
And you become a product of your environment, you know? It's like the thing with the fleas in the mason jar, you know? They put fleas in a mason jar, they put the lid on it. After 2 weeks, they release the lid, the fleas still jump. And the kids just jump to the top of the mason jar. It's the same thing until you become the one, Jeff. Until you become the one in the family. And I'm the one.
So what?
I became the one. July 31st, I didn't know on that day that my life had nothing to do with me on that day. But when I made that agreement with myself and I took full accountability and I looked myself in the mirror and I said, listen, Frank, it doesn't matter how you got in this ditch. You're in a ditch. The victim stuff has to end. It's over. You're 31 years old. You got to take full accountability for your life, and your only focus has to be getting out of this ditch. My only focus since that day has been evolution, elevation, creation, and service. And that's it. I've been just in that, and I've walked in that for the past 13 and almost 14 years now.
But first of all, that's incredible, because it is very hard to get out of the ditch and stop being a victim when you're at the bottom of the ditch, right?
Yeah.
There is a saying, you know, rock bottom's a good place because there's only one way to go.
Absolutely.
But you have to know you're at rock bottom.
Yeah.
And you have to have the awareness and the knowledge to take that accountability. Because it's very easy to point a finger. It's very easy to blame others for in situations and things that are out of your control. Because you didn't have that in your childhood, something gave you the awareness, the intuition to have that agreement with yourself.
Yeah. I know what it is. It's God, brother.
Okay. But did you not have God the day before?
I did not.
So what?
I had an understanding of what God was. Like, I went to like CCD, the family paid for you to go, and you pass and you get your communion and your confirmation. There's no relationship.
You did go.
But I was never like, I went to church. Yeah. But I had no relationship with God.
Okay. And what created that relationship?
Well, what happened was he gave me that moment of clarity on that day.
Okay. So take me through the day.
It was July 31st. Here I am, okay? Grown man.
Yeah. 31 years old.
31 years old. Guy comes looking that I know from my neighborhood. Can you imagine? I don't have no shame about this. Knocking on my door. My wife is an attorney on Wall Street. I'm living in like Midland Beach in Staten Island, which is not nice, in like a shack. We're like $50,000 in debt. Yeah. And she comes out and pays a grown man street debt $200. And that day, I said, enough is enough. And I started to attend AA meetings again, and I started to be in the middle.
You say again?
Yeah, because I tried to get sober before.
Okay.
I had about a year sober in 2006. So it was a seed that was planted that I didn't water.
Okay.
I was still young and a knucklehead.
Yeah.
You know?
For those of us who...
Late bloomer.
Okay, that's fair. But I think this is important because I have a lot of very good friends who are in recovery and are on that path. Some who I think should go. And then there's some of us that maybe recreationally participated in the same activity but didn't have that addiction level and were able to control it. And whether that's a genetic thing, environment thing, I don't know. You know, I'm not qualified to answer or have an opinion on that. But what my question I ask when I can friends who are where you are and are on the recovery side. You take the opioid the first time. Probably for a recreational purpose.
Absolutely. And
then you loved it so much you continued, and then it became a enjoyment to a need, and then from a need to a crutch,
and physical addiction too.
Physical addiction,
mental obsession.
Yeah, the crutch, the mental, and so when you go to the AA situation, the couple times it didn't work, and then the time now that it is, what breaks the wall? Like what prevented it in 2006, but allowed it to happen in 2011? Because your wife paying that debt maybe got you to a shame point where, okay, it had to change.
I know it because I knew I could be in this frequency that I'm in right now.
But how did you know?
Because I just had that in me. I knew that everything when I grew up, everything was not normal. I felt different than everyone in my family. I saw things very differently.
Okay.
I just felt so shucking up, Jeff. It was like when you're a kid, it's like shaking up a kid and then putting him out there and then being like, go operate.
Yeah.
And I operated in that system. But God gave me addiction, and addiction gave me recovery, and recovery gave me a whole new set of eyes. And then I started to put myself around people maybe that I didn't belong around until I belonged around them. And I started to put myself in rooms that I didn't belong until I belonged in them. And I started to become a sponge, like I'll be a sponge to you. I'm a sponge to everything, brother. And my only focus was just that. It was working the 12 steps, building. And when you start to peel the layers away through self-accountability, self-reflection, prayer and meditation, intention, journaling, service of others, grounding, working out, healthy foods. You put nothing but high frequency things into your body, even with the music you listen to, everything. And then you start to vibrate at a different frequency. That's all God, that's all energy. And that's what I started to do. And I started to grow with it and grow with it. And I had a vision of what's the greatest version of Frank Parisi.
And what is it?
And that's what I started to do. I started to walk in that, walk in my authenticity, walk in my integrity and honesty. And who's meant to come into my life is gonna. See, for such a long time, I would hang around people, brother, that were better than where I came from. Not living in my honesty and integrity. Even as a man, I need other men to show me love, to show up for me like I'm going to show up for them. How many men could say that, though? They're ego.
Sure.
But I need to live in my truth. I need to live in my authentic self. And for a long time, I would just accept relationships in my life because it was better than where I came from.
Yep.
Rather than finally being in true integrity with no non-negotiables. And I really, really got strong with this over the past 18 months. Yes. Over the past 18 months, the past 2 years, I got really clear on who Frank Parisi is on this journey, who's going to come and be in my frequency, where I'm going, how I'm going to get there, who's going to help me to get there.
Yes.
And I stood alone, bro. And I've been doing that, and then it comes. It just comes.
Of course.
And I know it's through all the daily disciplines. It's all through the daily habits that I've created that's transformed me into a new human being.
Like attracts
because
like.
You would never, ever be sitting with me 15 years ago, brother.
Because like attracts like.
Absolutely.
And that's, I think, it's such an important nugget, right? The way you just articulated that. It's how, relationship capital and how you get to be around the people that can change your life and take you where you want to go and be your authentic self around people who bring you up. And for a lot of people who are like, well, I just don't get that opportunity, or I meet them and I don't know how to build a relationship because they're not where they need to be to have that relationship. And you just summed that up.
Yes.
That Frank of 2011 and before wasn't in a position to have the relationships that you need, want, and to empower you to be that version of you.
Yes.
But the work you did from 2011 till today is creating
a new human being.
The authentic Frank, who should be not only around those people, but people want to be around Frank for the same reason.
Yeah.
Because it's not just you looking up to get pulled up, you're bringing people up as well.
That's all I want to do, Jeff. I don't care. You don't understand. Like, everything that I do is to serve humanity. It's to serve my fellow brothers and sisters. And I see myself serving on a global scale. I do. I truly do. It's not about me, my life. I didn't know July 31st, 2011, when I was getting sober, that I didn't have a kid at the time. I didn't know I was getting sober. My life's bigger than me. I'm the one, brother. DNA, did you know that DNA literally changes when you give it love versus when you give it bad energy?
I did not.
Oh, yeah. It's like scientific. You Google it. You could Google it. But it's the same. And abundance isn't external. You get to have an external abundant life through the internal work that you do on yourself when you truly heal all of that stuff.
Yes.
All of that stuff, and then you vibrate at a different frequency. And what abundance is to me, because listen, I went to the Super Bowls, I went to the World Series, I went to the Stanley Cups. I did all that, but I didn't know who was coming in the door when I was a kid.
Yep. It's the cost.
So like I see people chase the dollar, and I look at my family, chase the dollar for their freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Chase the dollar where the home didn't vibrate with stability and love, and it was for all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not about that, brother. Everything that I step into is through alignment, frequency. And I learned that in business.
Yes.
Because I had a business dealing after my transplant in April.
Mm-hmm.
So I lost all that. And then I lost all my income
What year was that?
last year.
It was 24. Yeah.
April.
It was 23 was the
Mm-hmm.
was the heart.
Yeah. And it's like, take it all.
Yeah.
Now let's go.
Because you have nothing. Look, you don't have any of those restraints.
Nothing. I'm going to show the world. I'm going to build back the greatest body of my life.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to build business.
I love it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I walk with the frequency. I walk with God. I trusted even when everything was taken, that I still trust to this day that I know. Like, I'm not delusional about this, and I'm not going to dim my light about it either.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know what's going on with everything in my life, why I'm here,
Yeah.
and what my mission and purpose is, brother.
So to help others, right, to bring them up to you, because you have your conviction and clarity is amazing. But in the darkest of dark, it's very hard to have that what you just said, that take it all. I know. Like, how would you help others that are like, Frank?
Let me tell them my story, bro.
Please.
So, as I said, I developed a new man. I've become successful in business. I did well. You know, I'm doing well. I'm not where I want to be. We always want to get better, right? But now, as I'm helping build this company, in January of 2023, I developed this cough. So, and I travel all over the country. And I'm in different regions. Now, Central Texas has a high allergy count, so they're telling me that it's allergies. I go to 2 doctors, primary care physicians, and I'm like, it's not allergies. This is like persisting now. I've been working out since I'm 14 years old, okay?
Like a hollow cough?
Yeah, it was like this dry cough. Like I've had these before because in Texas you get Central Texas has got cedar trees, so it's like massive amounts of allergies there. It's like one of the highest allergy accounts in Central Texas in the whole country. So I always get bad allergies, and it clears it up with steroids. They gave me the steroids, it didn't clear it up. So I'm like, now it's getting worse. I come back from New York, and I'm starting to feel really sick, Jeff. And I feel like I'm off. Like things are starting to feel weird. I want to be with my father. My father's dead.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to you about some stuff that's
go
a
ahead.
little off, okay? Okay. So my father's dead, and like he died in 2020, and I'm like, I want to be near my mom and my dad. Weird. And so I make this appointment with this medium, like 4 months, like while I got this cough, I got like
Had you ever been to a medium before?
once. So anyway, I come back from New York. I make this appointment. She's like, you can't get it till May 18th, the appointment. I make it like in February, whatever I made it, months before, because she's booked out. So I go to now a gastrointestinal, and I got an appointment with a pulmonologist and a cardiologist. So I go to the gastro because now I'm losing weight. I'm working out still, but like my weight, I'm like, all right, maybe I'm in my 40s, things change, you know? The gastro, everything comes back good. I go to the pulmonologist. The pulmonologist says you have a rare pneumonia called organizing pneumonia. 3% of the population has it. We're going to put you on high-dose steroids, 60 milligrams of prednisone for the next 6 months, and you're going to be on high-dose amoxicillin. So I start the therapies. I cancel the cardiologist appointment because I'm like, I just went to a specialist. I have this terrible freaking pneumonia. I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. 6 months of this cough. This cough's destroying me. It gets worse. Now I'm telling everyone I'm dying, but like I'm in shape, so everyone's like, "You're not dying, bro. You're mental. Totally okay. Yeah, you're all right." You know, I'm like having panic attacks. I can't sleep now. The cough's persistent. Now I'm coughing this orange.
While you're on the
up.
prednisone.
Oh yeah,
which has its own side effects.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
60 milligrams. So now I'm coughing this orange stuff up. I call the pulmonologist back. He gives me more medication. May 8th, okay? May 8th. Now, this is the way everybody needs to wake up. On May 8th, and be so grateful that we woke up today.
Okay.
Be so grateful that we can drink water, that I can have a conversation with you right now. You could go listen to music, create business, be with your family. Be so grateful that you could go to the bathroom today. Because on May 8th, I woke up and I coughed a half a bottle of blood up, Jeff, that night. Okay? And I went to the hospital in Lakeway, Texas to see my pulmonologist. And he said, what happened to you? And I said, what do you mean what happened to me? I told you that I'm coughing up this orange stuff. He says, well, we have to admit you. So I go into the hospital, they admit me. They got me in there like 8 hours. They finally figure out they say I have sepsis. So now they pumping me with 17 liters of fluid. My wife has to leave because I have all family in New York. My son's 6 years old at home. His father's in the hospital. A nurse comes in. She messed my arm up. She put the wrong pick in the arm.
What does that mean, wrong pick?
She put through certain medications, like pressor medications, they're supposed to put a different type of pick. She didn't draw it out to see if it was in.
Yeah.
So it never went in. So the medication infiltrates my arm, 3rd-degree burn from the inside out. Imagine May 8th, you wake up and you're by yourself. Then the doctor walks in and goes, Mr. Parisi, you don't have sepsis, you have 9% ejection fraction.
Which is what?
My heart's failing. You're supposed to have over 60. I have 9%. He said, your liver and your kidneys are failing. Jeff, listen to this. I'm not this guy. He says, we're going to take you not to San Antonio or Dallas or Austin or Houston, Temple, Texas, brother. The word, Temple.
Mm-hmm.
There's 20,000 people in Temple, Texas. There's cows in Temple, Texas. Why is Temple, Texas, and what are you talking about save my life? So now I got to drive up in an hour and a half from Austin to Temple, Texas.
Why Temple?
Because there's a doctor there who's not there no more. His name's Dr. Reddy. He brought all his doctors from New York, Mount Sinai and Lenox Hill, and then my other doctor, Dr. Hernandez. I love you for the rest of my life. We're going to write a book together. He's from Mexico City. Their cardiothoracic unit's one of the best. Temple, Texas, thank you, God. Mm-hmm. My wife's there, Jeff. Could you imagine? You got kids begging me to live, bro.
I cannot.
And I got 10 minutes to sit with her and talk about my life without her, brother.
Like what she needs to do?
Yeah.
Because you thought you were dying.
Yeah.
And so did she.
And she's begging me to live for my son, bro. And that picture stood there, bro. And I died, brother. And I left here, bro. You're not Jeff Fenster, brother. Like, I don't want to freak you out. But I left and I was in a dark room, bro. I was in a dark room. And one of my friends was with me. A guy I had helped years ago who passed away. He's with me. And I have a voice telling me that we want you with me. Bro, I look down like I'm looking in like a portal. I'm looking at my body with my wife next to me, and I'm on a ventilator, bro. And then I get a vision of my son growing up without me, bro. And I said, I got to come back. So now I'm in the bed, and I'm like, maybe that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. Maybe that didn't happen because these things, like when you're really sick like this, maybe your brain starts messing with you a little bit. Bro, I'm in a bed for 9 days, and the doctors are walking in with hazmat suits, Jeff. Because they got my room boarded up, bro. And I'm like, what's going on here? I'm in this thing called atrial fibrillation. I didn't know what it was, bro. I felt like my body was going to jump out of itself. My heart was going from 80 to 150 beats per minute. It was just bounce around, makes you feel like your body wants to jump out of itself. They're coming in with hazmat suits because they think I got tuberculosis from the orange stuff, but it's blood, brother, in my heart that's going in my lungs. And I got a pump in my groin, bro. I'm in bed for 9 days. I lost 45 pounds.
Oh, my God.
And I got the appointment with the medium, bro. And my wife's like, I don't want you to do it. And I'm like, I don't care.
After she didn't want you to do it?
She didn't want me to do the appointment with her.
Why?
I'm like, I don't care. I'm doing it. She was freaked out by all this. Like all this stuff. Why do I got this appointment with this medium right now? Bro, I told you that I grew up in organized crime.
Yeah.
One of the doctors there, his father-in-law was in organized crime. I'm in 20,000 people in Temple, Texas. God sent that man there for me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
One of my other doctors went to the same college as my wife, bro. It's Staten Island.
In New York?
Wagner College. And baked her favorite rainbow cookies, brother. Like, so I get on the appointment with the medium.
You're out of the bed?
No.
You're still in the bed?
I'm in the bed, bro.
For the appointment?
Yes. I have her on FaceTime. So I get on with her. She knows everything about my father. I got to talk to my father. She knows everything, bro. I channel my dad. And you could Google our name. You could see stuff on the internet and stuff like that.
Sure.
But she goes like this to me. She goes, bro. She goes, well, your doctors are from New York, right? She goes, your father sent them there. And she kept telling me about a pendant and a chain, bro. And a birthday. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. And my mom comes in the next day, and I tell her all this. And I go, she knew all the doctors were here, but she kept telling me about a pendant and a chain and a birthday. And she goes, today's your grandmother's birthday, bro. My dad died when she was 14. I get emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about this. And the pendant and chain, my Aunt Dolores gave a pendant and chain to my mom of my grandma. She gave it to my Aunt Camille. And I'm in the bed. I FaceTime my Aunt Camille and she's wearing the pendant and chain, Jeff.
The next day?
Yes. So when I talk about faith to you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, and that happened. Like, this all happened. I don't care what I know.
Yeah.
And Frank, you've been not here before, but you've been here before. You've been in weird positions. The difference is today you have a whole new toolbox in your tools.
Because you know.
Because you know today, bro, you're healed. You're a different human being.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to get up, brother. Because they're going to cut your chest open. And they put a pump in my chest.
After. So they haven't cut your chest
Not
open
yet. But they're telling me they're going to put a pump in my chest now. 13 staples go into me, and they put called an impeller pump. And the pump now is going to see if my heart's going to recover. Because they're telling me I might need a heart transplant. And I'm like, I don't even know how or why. Because I was working out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I've been working out my whole life. I don't know why this is happening. This makes no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But we're here. So it doesn't matter why it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You're in the ditch.
Yeah.
We got to get out of the ditch. So we got to walk. So now that we got the pump, I got to learn how to walk.
Before the pump, you're in the bed.
I'm in the bed. Now they put the pump in my chest.
It's not sepsis, and it's not tuberculosis.
No. Now they're
So
like,
they
it's
just
your
think
heart.
it's the heart.
It's my heart.
And the heart has caused all of this.
All of this. It's caused all of this.
And you still have the burn on the arm.
I still have the burn on the arm.
And have they done anything for that yet?
They just got it wrapped. They're telling me I have to get it debrided at some point,
Okay.
which is like they're going to have to clean it out, and then it's going to have to come back, and then it's skin graft surgery.
Yeah. But that's the least of your problems at this moment.
Well, because at that time, you're like, am I going to die from the arm?
Could you die from that?
I mean, once you get a heart transplant, because they're talking to me at that point about heart transplant, your immune system's lowered for the rest of your life.
Oh,
You have to take anti-rejection meds.
Your whole life, or just when they?
My whole life. The rest of my life, brother. Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll reject the heart.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're gonna go do the pump.
So they put the pump in.
To see if the heart's going to survive.
To see if I'm going to recover, if the heart's going to recover. So now at that point, I'm like, you have to get up and walk.
Mm-hmm.
So I start walking, Jeff. I start doing squats.
Why you're on all this equipment?
With the walker. Yeah, it's on the internet. You see it. And then I started to walk, bro, 1 mile around the ICU unit, and then 2 miles, bro, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. 5 miles around.
How many laps is that?
Thousands. Because I knew I gotta prepare.
Yeah.
And I knew that I'm gonna, because you're hearing code blue.
Isn't that bad for the heart right now?
No. So then you're hearing code blue, which means someone died in that unit.
Yes.
And I'm walking and I'm bringing light, Jeff. That's what it is. You got to stay in gratitude in the hardest of times. It's never victim in life. It's not why me, it's why not me. It's what's the gift in this and what am I going to become because of it? So I know if I serve this unit, if I start being good to the nurses and doctors, I buy them all lunch, breakfast, and dinner, show them love because I have a substance abuse and mental health facility. I've been working in that. I know what it's like to take care of people. Show them love. When you smile in the mirror, bro, what does the mirror do? It smiles back, bro. So I start smiling in the mirror. I start walking 5 miles in that unit. I got old people while we're here in Cold Blue walking by, waving. They got me a Superman cape in the unit. I got a plaque of myself in this hospital. They got a Superman cape, and every time I'd walk that unit while we here Cold Blue, they play the Superman music. No bullshit, because of the man I developed 13 years ago. I didn't know it was about me. It's about my son. It was about his future generations. I'm the one, bro. And then I had the ideas, what's the gift and what I'm going through and what am I going to become because of it? Let me write a book for my son while I'm in here.
So while you're in there?
While I'm in there, I start writing the book. The book became bestseller in 3 countries. Come on, bro. What's the gift and what we're going through and what are we going to become because of it? Never victim.
Yes.
I walk with the power, bro. Nothing stops us. Nothing. And I walked and I walked. And then I had to sit with Dr. Hassan and he said, Frank, your heart's dead. Your heart's dead.
After all these 5 miles?
Yes. It didn't recover. Now what you gotta do. Now what do I gotta do, Jeff? I gotta wait for somebody to die, bro.
Somebody has to die so you can live. Yeah.
What am I doing with that? How do I tell my son this? God is everything, he is nothing, brother. Mm-hmm. God is everything, bro. I'm friends with Steve Wisniewski, the NFL Raider. I'm a diehard Raider fan. God keeps putting all beautiful people in my life. Steve would come to the hospital, this giant man, offensive lineman, 8-time Pro Bowl. He'd come and he'd pray over me and he'd say, Frank, God loves you more than
in
you.
Temple.
Yeah. It saved his life too, that hospital. How crazy. We used to work out in the same gym. We used to live in my neighborhood. Yeah. And I'm a diehard Raider fan. I just met him in the gym and then became like an uncle to me. This guy, he'd come and that hospital saved his life too. Crazy. It saved his life. And they air-vaxxed him. They gave him 6% chance to live. He lived. I forgot what crazy surgery. But here's this man. This is God, bro, praying over me. God loves you more than your family could ever love yourself. I'm like, Steve, I just want to keep my heart. He's like, well, it's not up to you, bro. Mm-hmm. God is everything. He's nothing. God, you're everything. You're everything. So if you want to take my heart, God, I trust you. Everything, bro. 13 staples. I took ibuprofen. I'm an opiate addict. Yeah. It was Jeff, I was born in the darkness, bro. And I could lead in it. But I could lead in the light too, bro. So I saw what was going on. This is what I was talking about. There's nothing to do with here.
Yeah.
So now they're like, we're going to debride your arm. And by the way, when you go on a heart transplant list, right, you have to see like social workers, psychologists. They want to make sure like you can pay for your meds. Like you got to get vetted.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And you know how many people get a heart transplant a year?
I have no idea.
In America, there's like about 3,000.
Total.
A year.
And how many are on the list?
I don't know. Some people don't get them.
Like when you go on the list, do you know what number you are? Do you have any
No, there's like levels, like 7 through 1. But I was top tier because I died. So they put me at the top of the list.
Okay.
So once the heart was, I was already in ICU, you know, fighting for my life here.
Yeah.
So I'm in here now like 3-4 weeks. Now they're like, we're going to debride your arm.
Before the heart.
Yeah. So I'm like, great. Because then they said you're O positive. It's going to be 6 to 8 weeks before you get a heart. Because my blood type.
But could your heart survive that long? Or we didn't
with
know?
the pump, yeah, it would survive with the impeller pump. But like, yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea. Like, is this gonna kill me? Is anything gonna? Are these procedures that I'm going through is gonna kill? God is everything,
So you're
brother.
going to stay in the ICU for 6 to 8 weeks waiting for a heart.
Yes. So they debride my arm.
Which is what? Debride.
They clean it, so it's now missing a chunk that much. Imagine my arm missing that much.
Okay.
Underneath.
Okay.
Now they got to clean that out and wait for it to all grow back up, and then they're gonna cut my leg off and put it on my arm. Imagine May 8th, you wake up.
No, I cannot imagine.
Yeah.
I can't imagine any of this.
Yeah. So,
How painful is the debride?
bro, I'd rather get my chest sawed open.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
So, yeah, but you learn so much about yourself in suffering, bro. So now they debride my arm. They come in. The next day, tomorrow, you're getting a heart.
And wasn't supposed to be this quick.
No, 6 to 8 weeks. One day.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the person who died that's going to give you the heart?
Oh, yeah.
They tell you?
No, that's a whole nother story. Yeah. So I get the heart transplant. What do? You go into that. God is everything, bro.
Yeah.
So I come out, and it's frequency, everything. Because if you look, I come out, as soon as I get out of the heart transplant, I'm alive. I'm on a ventilator. I woke up in the ventilator. It wasn't supposed to happen. So now if the heart transplant...
You're not supposed to wake up?
No. And I'm awake after a heart transplant on the ventilator for like hours. The medication, but I wrote immediately on a board, bro. If you look at my Instagram, it says, I don't care about pain. I'm grateful to be alive. Do you understand?
I mean, I don't, but I do.
Gratitude.
I've never been in this situation, but I can mentally understand what you're saying. I get it, but I'm
going to see my son.
Yes.
I could raise him.
Yes. The pain is irrelevant at that point.
Yeah, because it's not about me, bro. None of it been about me. I'm the one, dude. So, like, his future generations, and that's why I wrote the book, because if I would have died, he had the blueprint already.
In the book, thesis is...
It's a journey through faith, family, health, hustle, and purpose.
And how to do it.
Yes.
And how you did it.
Yes, it's my memoir and then action steps for people on the back end. Yes, and abundance isn't external.
Yes.
You'll create an external life through internal work.
Yes.
So I get the heart transplant. I get the arm debridement. I get the arm skin graft surgery. And
They cut your leg.
Yeah, they cut my leg's missing a piece too. It's like
Thigh?
scarred. My thigh, yeah. And then I started the rebuild.
And how long is that process?
Oh, man, like that was crazy too. You know, they were like, is it going to take? It took 100%.
And the heart took no problem?
The heart took no problem.
Is that normal? Is that...
No, I mean, like it's only, no, like you have a 65% chance.
The heart takes?
Yeah, and most people, like the average heart only lasts 11 years. I'm a year and a half into this, but because of my health and my situation.
The new heart only lasts 11 years?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, most people have like comorbidities and stuff. Like they don't know why I had a heart transplant. Like
they can't figure this out.
No.
Could it have just been a genetic defect in your heart?
No, because I have the Titan gene, but there's 9 strains, and the strain I have is not the one that activates heart failure.
Okay. Could it have been the opioids?
Brother, it's not from here. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to...
No, I'm just...
It could have been a million things, but I mean, I took the vaccine too. It could have been that too. Who the hell knows? Sure. It could have been a million things, you know, but I think it was God wanted it to be removed.
Is it rare for you to have the side effects of a bad heart happen as fast and
yeah, it could happen
because
the way it happened to me.
Yeah, the coughing of the blood and just the whole
situation.
They
said that my doctor Hernandez told me that if I wasn't in the shape I was in, I would have died. It was that my body compensated for everything because I was in such good shape,
which is
why I lived.
Yes,
which is why it's so important for people to eat edible. No, like not even to be like that, but to be like that, bro. Yes. Like if you see me now, you don't know, 45 years old, and I had a heart transplant. I'm shredded.
Yeah.
Because of the food I eat.
Yes.
Because of the mindset I have. Because of the faith because of everything that we're speaking about.
Anyone could be healthy appearance-wise by doing the steps.
Absolutely.
Obviously, what's going on inside, to your point, you could say, well, look, he had a bad heart and he eats right. Yeah, but because he eats right and takes care of his body, he survived it.
I survived it, and I came back 10 times stronger.
Yeah.
Most people have PTSD. I have PTG, post-traumatic growth.
Never heard that before. That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, you go through a traumatic event, I come back 100 times stronger.
Post-traumatic growth.
Yeah, so then I get
You come up with that?
Huh?
You come up with that?
Actually, my business partner, shout out Jason Turner, he did. But
That's
it's
awesome,
not that he
Jason.
came up with it. I think it's a thing.
I've
He
never
told me it's a thing.
It's great.
Well, if not Jason, you coined it. Let's definitely
I mean, that's something we all
copyright
need,
that.
we all need to put in our pocket because we all have some form of, we believe we have some form of PTSD from certain events in life, and PTG, man. I
yeah,
love that.
bro. Yeah. So now I build everything back, bro. You know, I built my body back, my
This
mindset
is May
back.
24.
Huh?
May of
May of
2024.
24. And then I get the heart transplant June 3rd.
So you're talking
2023. I'm sorry, 2023.
2023.
2023.
Yes.
Yeah, June 3rd, 2023. I get the heart
Not even 2
transplant.
years ago.
No, 18 months. 18 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then business happens. I get business, business dealings of my own making because you have to have self-reflection and accountability. You're never a victim.
sure.
You have to always say, even if you were done wrong in a certain situation, you have to look at your part in that. And I looked at that and I made adjustments towards, moving forward, which is what I did. But the most beautiful thing was in the summer when I was like seeing what I was going to do with my life. I didn't know like I was looking at different businesses to get into, but I stayed in my industry. And my book became a bestseller. And then on a random Friday night, I don't get the mail. My wife gets the mail. So on a random Friday night, I get the mail and it's my donor's family. They wrote me a letter.
Had you ever had a conversation with them yet?
Never. So they wrote letters, but like the transplant teams make it go by a year because it's very emotional, Jeff. There's a lot that goes on here. I mean, they lost somebody. I have them with me.
Yep. They had to die for you to be here. I mean, I can't.
Dude.
Yeah. That's heavy.
My whole life has been like this. It's been like, so it's not shocking anymore. So I talked to the mom. The mom and the dad are divorced. I love Cora. I pray for her. I love her. And the dad is like, hey man, like, I'm so happy we got to talk. Tomorrow, I'm renewing my vows with my wife of 10 years, and I want you to come be part of the ceremony with your family. In Longview, Texas, bro. You can't make this stuff up, brother.
I don't know where long.
It's like 4 hours from Austin, where I live, like some East Texas. And dude, I go to the freaking ceremony, bro. And my donor's a girl, brother. Kaylee Bearden. 19-year-old girl, bro.
19.
I have a 19-year-old girl's heart in my chest, brother, keeping me alive. I have female DNA, bro. I literally changed the DNA in my family. See, God needed to have that removed, bro. So I could be here with you and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you're on stages, bro. I'm going to be with you, brother. See, I say it before I see, like, I see it before.
You have to.
You know what I mean?
You have to.
The
Otherwise, where are you
big,
going?
big stages, bro, because the world needs to hear this stuff.
Yes, they do.
They all listen to her heart. Her little sister who died in the car wreck. Take that in, bro. To the soul with them. As they listen. I'll honor her for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. All connected, brother. All one. It's an illusion, separation. We're all one, bro. All her sisters listen to her heart.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you're actually doing it more, you say just your son, but you're doing it for their family too.
Yeah, bro. You know?
I do.
And then after all that, all the business was taken, the money was taken, the heart was taken. I saw who was who. You get to see the truth in everything and everybody, brother. And I just sat alone, bro. I sat alone in that gym and I cried to God. And I was like, I still trust you and I still serve. I still served. I still talked about everything. I still was serving all over, bro. But I didn't know what I was going to do. And then I stood and it came. It all came. My business partner came. Darren came. More stuff's coming. I'm building more businesses. I'm bringing more deals together. It's all coming.
That's right.
And it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with the world and my future generations, my son and his future generations. So
It also has something to do with you.
I'm the vessel, bro.
Yeah, but in a way, everyone's a vessel.
Yeah.
You've done the work. You've created the version of you, regardless of all the extra factors, because there's somebody out there who's in a different but similar situation and may or may not be making the same decision about going through hell to come out the other side, because you have to burn sometimes you have to burn it all down to rebuild, like a forest.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And even the body. I mean, building muscle, you break it down so it rebuilds.
Yes.
And not everyone's willing to do that. And I mean, talk about perspective, right? I mean, shit, 3/4 of what you've gone through are things that trump anything I've ever been through. And all of my problems are somebody else's wish. That's perspective.
Yes, brother. That's what I'm saying. We get to be here to create, to serve.
Yes.
To be with our families, to teach.
And you do need to spread this message everywhere, because my life has been changed a few times, and the appearance of some professional successes or family successes or health successes or spiritual successes that we all share and have in our own rights in our own life, we all need to recognize and remember that get to. And my life has definitely been changed from your story today. And I can name another gentleman, Mason Sawyer, had that same effect on me in one of our episodes. And shout out to Mason, but he lost damn near everything. I mean, his kids, all of his kids but one, his wife, his brother, in a terrible car accident. And he came out of it with the get to.
Yeah, brother.
I get to pick my kid up from school. I get to sit in traffic to go to this meeting. I get to get yelled at by my significant other or friend. I get to feel pain. And it's amazing it's hard to, if you don't have to go through that, right? If you don't have to go through the lesson and the pain to get the lesson, how do you take it? Like, I can tell you the stove is hot, but some kids have to touch the damn stove, right? And I was one of those kids. And as I get older and more mature and more awareness and recognizing that, that you probably heard that old, it's kind of a religious fable, but guy's drowning at sea, boat comes by, says, hey, get on. You've heard that, God will save me. And then he dies and says, hey, I sent you the boats.
Yeah.
Because you don't always recognize the message and what you need to learn.
Yeah.
And you said something so profound that I really want to go back a step, because you said after the surgeries, after the medical businesses fail, maybe you were done wrong by partners, but you got to take accountability.
Yeah.
That is the biggest lesson I've ever learned in my life, because you chose those business partners.
Yes.
You chose to go left when you could have gone right. You chose to say yes when you could have said no, or no when you could have said yes.
Yes.
Everything is a choice. Now, some of it is circumstantial and random, right? You get rear-ended at a red light. Is it your fault? No, but you have to take accountability because you went to that red light.
Yeah.
You could have gone slower or faster.
Right.
So your choices had an effect on the randomness of the event that occurred.
Absolutely.
And if someone does you dirty or wrong, you could say, well, they screwed me. They did.
Mm-hmm.
But you allowed them in your life
Yes.
to screw you.
Yeah.
You could have done and said no.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't mean that you made bad. It doesn't mean it's your fault, but it's your fault. When you take accountability and accept that everything in your life is your fault, you can build anything you want.
Yes.
And that story that you just said basically just outlined that entire thing.
Yes. Full accountability.
Full accountability.
Because I only move through alignment now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about opportunity. I don't give a crap about opportunity. I need to move with principles and alignment, core values with people.
So I absolutely agree with you, except I want to challenge the point of opportunity, because I don't waver on my core values. I'm like you. I stand by them no matter what. But I look for opportunities that serve those. So I do look for the opportunity. but I assess the opportunity against my core values.
Absolutely. That's what I meant.
Don't want. Yes, I just don't want people to feel
no,
like
no.
Yes.
I'm open to the universe and everything.
Yes. Seek opportunity.
My point is, if the opportunity doesn't align with my core values, I'm not going with it.
Right.
Where in the past I would have.
But that's the difference between chasing and attracting.
Correct. And that's where I had lessons that God taught me that I had to learn on this journey and path. And thank you so much for them, because I was talking about keeping your sword sharp. Oh, man, that's keeping your sword sharp.
Well, because the reason why most people don't make money is they chase money. The most reason most don't find love is they chase it. The reason most people don't find health is they chase it.
Yes.
They want the quick fix. They want to go after and run after it. Go run after an animal in the wild. What happens?
Yep.
It runs. Look at a playground. Little boy chases a girl. What does she do? Runs. What if you set up a little cookie stand? You attract.
Yes.
Put your hand out with food, the deer comes to you.
Yes.
So
Yes.
attract, and you attract by having
Yes.
and understanding your core values and finding the right opportunity.
Yes.
Just because you think it's a quick buck or a quick pill to make you better or numb the pain, right?
Yes.
Quick this in business so I can take I can step on someone that I shouldn't for a quick buck, and it's a transaction, and I'm gonna do something maybe that I don't really feel good about to make a quick buck. That's gonna cost you millions.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know, without a doubt. Just moving with the wrong people.
It's all of it.
Oh,
It's
yes.
attraction
It's
as
all-
opposed to chasing.
Absolutely.
And that's, you can't attract unless you know who you are.
Absolutely.
And you said something that I stand by. I live and breathe my core values, my success formula. It's everything to me. It's what I talk about everywhere I go. You have it on the back of your shirt. Yours.
Uh-huh.
5 of them.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the back of your shirt, but I'm going to see if I can go off memory. But faith,
Yes.
family,
Yes.
purpose, hustle,
Health, hustle, purpose.
health, hustle, purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Faith
I
is
get.
foundation. It's foundation.
Family is everything.
Family is everything.
Hustle is the determination to keep moving and find it.
Absolutely.
Health is can't do anything if you're not healthy.
Non-negotiable. And health's not just physical
No,
health.
it's like it's everything.
Everything.
It's everything.
It's everything.
Yeah, you have toxic brain, toxic thoughts, toxic energy.
Starting with your mind.
Oh, yeah.
Healthy mind is where it starts.
For sure.
That's where you build everything.
That's where everything comes from. It's a computer.
Yes, exactly. Got to put the right download in.
But I want to hit on purpose.
Purpose.
'Cause how do you define purpose?
My purpose. Oh man, to serve humanity.
But
brother.
how do you define it? Meaning, that's a great
It's
mission.
what-
That's very altruistic.
Yes.
I'm not as good of a human being as you. I'll be blunt. I love people, not that much.
Yeah.
My purpose is not in life. I don't feel my purpose is to just serve humanity. I think that that's amazing, and I admire and look up to you for having that. I don't have in my heart. I have a more selfish heart, I guess, in the sense of I don't have that feeling.
Yeah.
I want to help as many people as I can because it fills my cup,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I don't put it above all. If you ask me what my purpose in life is, it's not serving
Oh,
humanity.
bro, my main purpose in life is my son.
Okay. I was going to say, because mine's my family.
It's my son,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. But yours was bigger, so I'm like, and there's
No,
people
no,
like
no,
that.
no, dude. It's my son, his future generations, and the world, bro.
Okay. And you don't factor yourself in at all.
Hmm?
You don't factor you in at all.
No, I'm the vessel.
But can't you enjoy? Can't you have some?
Oh, I'm enjoying this whole thing.
No. Can't you define aspirations for yourself on a purpose level for you?
Oh yeah, I have my vision board.
Okay. For your enjoyment of you, though, not just to achieve the mission of helping your son and future generations. I mean for Frank. I mean just straight up pure selfish Frank.
No, I haven't thought of that because I've been so selfish my whole life that I try not to live in that, brother. You know, I've been like, it's truly not. You know, like I love being here right now, out here in San Diego, but I wish my wife and my son were with me.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like it's beautiful out here, but like everything I do is for them, dude.
Sure.
Everything I do is for them. You know,
'Cause
if I didn't have my son and my wife,
Yeah.
and I had gone through everything I've got, like even
Yeah,
with the business,
you'd be
I don't.
gone.
Yeah, there's no, you know.
I mean, look, Mason said it too. You know, when he lost everybody but one kid,
Yeah,
he said, "I would have killed myself, but I had one child left."
yeah.
He lost 2 children. His
My
wife,
my
his
son
brother,
is my purpose, dude. Oh, I love him so much.
And I understand that. I mean, when I'm
Yeah.
going through the darkest moments emotionally, personally, my children's pop in my brain. It's what drives you. But I'm asking because the reason I asked that question is I think a lot of people aren't as clear as you They aren't as foundationally connected with their faith and their circumstance. They're living outside of their true, authentic self because of life, where you might have been pre-2011.
Yeah.
Maybe not as bad with the opioids, but call it whatever you want. There's a part of them that's not being authentic.
It's programming.
And they don't, like me, don't feel themselves to be as selfless and have that bigger, extreme commitment to the greater good of all over some self. So I'm trying to figure out how I can help them understand that you can have some selfish side and still find your authenticity, right? Because I do things just for me. I do. And I'm okay with it because I believe that makes me a better version of myself to be a dad and to do all the selfless things that I plan on and try to do every day because I do take some selfish time for me.
I do too.
Okay.
Yeah, I do too. I mean,
That
I
was
take
more of a
those.
question,
Yeah, those are my habits, my daily habits, like
Yeah.
prayer, meditation, journaling, workout.
I want fun. What do you do for fun? Not kids, not spouse.
Sports.
Okay. What's your favorite sport?
All of them. All the major sports.
What do you like?
Basketball. We love basketball.
Who's your team?
Knicks. Yeah, Knicks.
Fair. You mean you're Raiders. I'm Lakers. We're not
You're a Raider fan?
a diehard.
Oh, dude.
Since
Me
day
too.
I was born.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Diehard,
Oh, great.
diehard.
Yeah. A diehard Raider fan. I
Yes.
love the
I mean,
Raiders.
look, we like punishment,
We do.
right? we're gluttons for punishment. I mean, it's hard to, if you're a Raider fan,
It's hard.
Yeah, you enjoy.
It
You enjoy
starts
pain.
at the top, though. I mean,
Of
it's
course,
just so
of
bad.
course. Yeah,
So yeah, I love the Raiders. I love the New York Rangers, and I'm a diehard Yankee fan. We had season tickets to the Yankees.
We were
I
so
took-
bonded
I
until
took-
you said
I
that. Couldn't you just be a Mets fan?
I took my son to the one game they won this year in the World Series against the Dodgers.
Well, Padres.
That
fan.
was one of the best. That was one of the best nights of my life. To be honest with you, I have to talk about this because my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law both beat cancer. You know, my mom has her health stuff, and they took all their kids to the World Series, and I didn't know they I didn't know they were going, so I got tickets in the same section as them, for me, my mom, my wife, and my son. So it was all my nieces and my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and it was like each inning I got to sit with a different person, like one of my nieces and and I felt like I was dead, bro. You know what I mean? Like to have that experience. Like I didn't even care if the Yankees won or lost. The fact that we were all, they weren't going to win the series. They were down 3-0. But like the fact that we were all together at that moment, like in that, it was just so beautiful. The other thing I didn't mention to you, I would need to mention this. So it's like, and it's again how faith is so important in my life and how God works in my life. My niece, Angelina, has needed a kidney transplant her whole life.
How old is she?
She's 27 now. She was born with one kidney. And she
She
was
was born with only one?
one kidney, and then the doctor never caught what had happened. It was so now her kidney's down. But when I was dying, she was at my house with her husband, like watching me like be sick. But we didn't know really, like. But it was like literally 2 weeks before I'm like in the May 8th, like, and I'm dead. And then she watched her uncle go through everything that he went through, you know, and come out on the other end of that. And then here's like another thing where God keeps showing me things is like, now she has to get worked up for her transplant.
Does she have one lined up?
So she goes on the day I die was May 8th, and she goes on May 8th
Serious?
to get worked up. So I did, because now, like after everything, I wrote the book, I have followers on social media now and all this stuff. And so I did a call to action for my niece, if anybody would be willing to go get tested for her. And I had like 25 people reach out and go get tested for her.
It's incredible.
And one of them was my donor sister, bro.
Get out of here.
Yeah, Chloe.
Wow.
Yeah. But like,
is it a match?
I don't know yet, but dude,
That would be
like,
crazy.
do you understand like what's going on here? Like, this is not normal.
Mm-mm.
I'm not this guy either, like to be all this, you know, but it's like, this is what happened, brother.
It's crazy.
It's just going crazy.
I mean, Frank, I want to thank you. Brought me your book,
I did.
and I'm a voracious reader, so I'm
You'll probably read it one day.
gonna read it tomorrow.
Yeah. It's not a long read. It's great.
I'm fascinated. Like I
I'll
said,
cry every time I read it. It's like,
I mean,
it still hits me. I cry. I got the female DNA, so I don't care. I cry. I'm still a man. You know what I mean? But men should cry. You
Sure.
should be a protector and have the vulnerable side.
Listen, I
too.
think that's a whole other conversation, right? Because our era, we grew up, men weren't supposed to.
No,
Today,
no.
there's nothing wrong with men crying. It's healthy. They should.
Yeah.
I wish, if I could change something about myself, I wish I didn't have the stigma of my youth of bottling down and pushing down those kinds of emotions.
Yeah.
It's one of my demons I deal with as an adult, right?
Yeah.
But in this generation, my children's generation, your son's generation, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, bro,
It's an emotion.
I literally cry like
It's an emotion.
like a few times a week.
It's like laughing's an emotion, anger's an emotion.
Yeah.
Like it's good. It's healthy.
Oh no, listen, Jeff. You have to understand. I was in a hospital for 6 weeks with beautiful nurses with tubes in every piece of me washing me. I don't care no more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why I started putting my stuff on social media.
Yeah.
That's how Darren and them found me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't care. There's no more fear. What do we fear?
Yeah.
You're in the most advanced form of virtual reality right now.
I love that perspective.
You're player one somewhere else, player
Yeah.
Jeff Fenster, because someone gave you that name.
Sure. That's awesome.
So knowing that you are the great I am, go create, man. We're creative beings. We're here to evolve, elevate, create, and serve.
I mean, I hope everyone listening understands the message that you are providing, and they don't have to have a event like you did of July 31st to wake up.
That's why I went through what I went through. That's why I'm telling you.
The stove's hot, and you're telling them,
Yeah.
don't touch the damn thing.
No.
Because, in school, you study, you learn the material, you take the test. In life, as an adult, you take the test, and then you get the lesson.
Yeah.
Right? And the key to success is learning the lesson before you have to take the test from what's out there, because it's not in a book.
Yeah.
There's not a syllabus with a teacher saying, this is what you need to do now. It's just out there. And it's like a puzzle that's turned upside down and you don't have the box cover. And you pick up the piece and you got to figure out where the hell that piece goes or throw it away.
Yeah.
And someone like yourself can provide color and clarity to a lot of people who are dealing with their own demons and realize, holy shit, if Frank did all that, if there is this bigger purpose, if I do define my core values, if I do embrace abundance, if I serve others to the best of my ability where I can, maybe not to the full extreme as someone as selfless as you, because you're better than most of us, but I don't. It's true. I mean, look, until you have those events that can clear that out, you have your thoughts. You have you as a teenager. I guarantee you, Frank, as a teenager at 17, could give two shits about somebody in another city who he doesn't know.
Never.
I guarantee.
Never.
If I walked up to you on the street and was like, "Hey, there's a little boy in San Diego," you'd be like, "I don't get out of my way."
No, I know. So it's shifted,
Right?
though. Yes.
So you've cleared the page, so you can see. Not everyone can see that, and that's part of why I have this show and why I want guests like you to come on, because you can be that lesson that we need to hear before we take the test. And we need more of that. So I like that you said at the beginning that you are going to be on big stages impacting millions of people globally, because you can be that, and to quote Damon West, you could be that coffee bean who I'm going to introduce you to.
I love
you
it.
two need to know each other. Damon is
we
an
do.
incredible... Listen to his
Especially if he's in
episode on my
Texas.
show.
No, I definitely am. Yeah.
I mean, he's on lots of shows. You don't have to listen to mine, but
Yeah.
why
No,
not?
I'm listening to yours.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Of course. Thanks. That's the selfish part right there. See what we do? But I got to be selfish to be selfless.
Yeah.
I got to make billions if I want to give millions.
Absolutely.
I got to
brother.
build a big show if I want to impact people in my own way.
Absolutely.
And to do that, I have to have success. So everybody should be successful.
Absolutely.
I want everyone to be a millionaire.
That's a
or
purpose.
billionaire.
Yes. No, that's part of that's the hustle.
Yes.
It's part of the whole thing, without a doubt. The more money we make, the more influence we have, the more people we can help, the more people you can help bring up.
That's right.
You can help them to make more money.
That's right.
And that's what it's about. Currency flows. It's
And most
not supposed to
importantly,
just stay.
If you have children,
Yes.
they're watching you whether you realize it or not.
That's what honestly, my son has learned so many lessons in this. You know what I mean?
I do.
Watching his father
You've changed his whole
overcome
life.
Everything.
Because if you were still in New York living that same lifestyle and you never had the heart problem, you'd be walking down the same path.
Same path. And that's why I tell people, it doesn't matter where you start in life or what your current circumstances. Create a vision for the greatest version of yourself. Make the agreements with yourself that no matter what's going on, mom died, cancer, heart transplant, shut the noise off and take massive action every day until the vision's a reality. And then rinse and repeat.
Hit 15-second rewind. Hear that again. Frank, man, this is awesome. I mean, we could do a Joe Rogan episode, 3 hours. I just want to keep talking to you. And I can't believe how long we've already gone. So Andrew's going to have some cutting and editing to do.
Sorry.
No. I want more.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm going to devour your book. For those of you who, like me, want to hear more, I mean, obviously social media, but what else is going on in Frank's world that people can get involved with? How can they help you with the San Antonio emotion?
So we have I'm a partner in Emotion Wellness. It's a mental health and substance abuse facility, outpatient PHP IOP in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
We're an in-network provider, and we work with adolescents as well as adults. So we have a primary mental health track, and a substance abuse track, and an adolescent track.
And Emotion's going to be scaling, hopefully nationwide.
We're going to be nationwide. Yes,
there we go.
That's the vision and the goal. And then just keep promoting my book. You guys can find me on Instagram at Frank Parisi 2011, TikTok at Frank Parisi 2011, Facebook. I also do some. I'm going to be sending out some coaching courses on mindset.
Yep.
So that'll be launching soon.
Who's your ideal client?
I mean, anybody, brother.
Yeah, but like, I'm listening. Am I the right fit? Do I need to be at a certain spot in life? Does it matter?
No, it doesn't. This is going to be for the masses. It's going to be very affordable for people.
I don't mean financially. I just mean like,
anybody that's stuck.
Okay.
Anybody that's stuck. If you're stuck, you're stuck in life.
And I want to do a quick personal plug. We just met in person today. We've had a few conversations before. We have a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who can coach mindset or attempt to coach mindset. If I was going to hire a mindset coach, I want Frank.
Yeah.
I want someone who's overcome what you did and has your perspective now.
Yeah.
Because that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Experience is overrated to do a lot of things, but mindset, if you can have the mindset you have after overcoming what you overcame, I get to learn from you. That's important. So when you launch that, I want to help promote it.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. You're the man.
No, you're the man.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah. CJ's my partner. CJ, you heard that?
Where's CJ?
He's working at Tesla.
Okay. Well, you heard that, CJ. We're going to get you out of there. We're going to go to a Raider game and then watch the Padres beat the Yankees. Well, dude, I want to really appreciate you coming on, man.
Oh,
seriously,
man. Thank you for coming on.
I mean, like I said,
thank you for having me on. Seriously, I connected. I feel it.
I was just sucked in. I mean, a couple of times I had to remember I had to ask you a question.
Yeah. That
I was a host on this thing and not just watching, because I was infatuated with the story and I want more. And I also think that there's a lot more that you're gonna do that you haven't even realized yet.
I know. I'm curious.
Yes.
I'm just peeking through curtains and saying.
And so follow Frank, get involved with him. He's changing the world. And dude, seriously, like as a steward of what you just shared, thank you.
Thank you for having me on, brother. I appreciate you. Yeah.
Hey everyone. First, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. And if you guys haven't heard about my new book, Relationship Bank Account, click the link in the show notes or search the title on Amazon. This book is packed with all my secrets to success in both relationships and life. Make sure to pick up a copy, and if the book helps you on your journey, let us know by leaving a review. I appreciate all of you and can't wait to see you on the next one.